Hello and welcome back to another VOD review. We are going to be looking at the Atlanta Reign taking on the LA Gladiators. This is another map 5 loss for the Gladiators. I know. It's tragic. It really is. They are, I believe they are 1 from 5 in map 5s this season. I think that's why it really feels like we are the Sadiators, because they just lose every clutch moment. They're the anti-clutch right now, compared to like Paris Eternals and even the Atlanta Reigns, right? Every time Gladiators end up in map 5, they seem to drop the spaghetti. So we're gonna have a look at it. This theoretically, in my opinion, is a great meta for the Gladiators. They have some hero swaps though. Player swaps. Mirror and Moth come in when they want to play the Pharah Mercy. Skewed and Birdring come in when they want to play the Brig Tracer. Which is good, because that's having everyone on their roles. I think the biggest weakness that they run into, and I'm going to highlight that in this current match, is that they aren't willing to switch to the Pharah Mercy when Mirror and Moth aren't in the lineup. I don't know if they can. Like, obviously, I'm sure Kevstar or Birdring can play the Pharah and Skewed can play the Mercy. Maybe. Like, we haven't seen Skewed play Mercy. He is historically a flex support who can just play Brig. So it is interesting to see how that's sort of, like, playing out. But I do have fears for this team that they're going to hamstring themselves by just like only having those swaps, because in this series, if they just played Pharah Mercy on like Route 66 or when Atlanta tried to really heavily bunker down, they could have got more damage in, but instead they sort of tried to force the dive too much, and then Atlanta counter-comped them quite well, so we'll break that down. On the other hand, Atlanta looks like one of the best teams in the West again. One of the greatest things that they have going for them is they can play their 6-man roster and be quite effective when in any composition. They did play a lot of Kai, so he can play like the hit scan. He plays a bunch of hit scan. I think he plays some Hanzo as well. His Tracer, I actually think it's in this match where he gets Tracer diff quite hard. Kai's Tracer, I would say, would be his biggest weakness of him being in this lineup. His Tracer is fine, but when we're talking about Overwatch level, like, he's going up against Kevstar in this one, right? It's just not... It's not Kevstar level, right? So there is going to be a difference there for when Kai plays that Tracer. But other than that, I actually really like the way that they play around their 6-point unit. And they are playing to their style, but also adaptable. On theme, I don't think Atlanta Reign plays much dive. They do try and move away from that. Iris and Gator usually play those like slower tanks and the Baptiste from Iris and stuff like that. So let's have a look at it. Let's see how we feel. Once again, we started on Lead Gen Garden. This always fucking happens. Why are we always here? I don't know if it always starts on Garden or what. Or we're just getting unlucky or lucky or whatever. So. Alright. Oh yeah, Kai also plays like Torb and Soldier. I actually think Kai could lean more into playing the Soldier. We actually saw this from a couple of teams yesterday where they played like Soldier Pharah and the Soldier just plays far away. I think Kai could definitely lean more into that. So obviously we got the Pharah matchup, literally identical comps. So we're gonna have a look at that. Let's look at some Kevstar Tracer to see what he's doing here. Oh, Tracer diff. And Kevstar actually just got boomed by Kai. Obviously he got helped by Muse, but he won the initial one. What do you think of Iris Anna? Why do you think he was benched? I think they were just comfortable playing with Dogman last year, and that's why he was benched on the Anna. Could also be communication, right? I assume Dogman is a very... I can't... Pelican, I can't reach you up there. I do not have boosters. What are you... Help. What are you doing? Pelican, fine. I'm coming. Yeah, I think Dogman communication might have been the reason that he played more. Iris has really good English. Well, it's good English. But like, doesn't matter how good his English is. It's more like communication structure. Like Dogman might have been a more integral part of their communication structure last year. Was that better or worse than them? You know, no one will ever know, right? Doesn't Iris have like 98? It's not 98%. He has like because he plays a bunch of Moira as well. He had like a 75% play rate on Baptiste. So we got the Nano Pharah from Mira going for the one-shots. Nice, good disengage by Pelican. So that's nothing from that Nana. And then Pelican kills Shu and they get Moth. Dude, this is not close right now in these Faradals. Mira has 35% ult charge while Pelican has Barrage. Like, look at that diff right now in Pharah. Iris is a sick bad. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Iris is bad. Pelican Rookie of the Year. I think right now he is probably the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year.
This is not the end. Damage amplified.
I will not waste this
Until
opportunity.
Clearing the area.
Plus 38% more ult charge. Well, that's probably because his Pharah's been dead, right? Like, they've lost the Faradal. So, generally, when the Mercy's behind, it's generally because something's happened in the combo. Because it's like, you can only get charge if you do healing, right? So... Dude, they're so high in the air. How is this even possible? They're actually in orbit. Yeah, these Pharah duels have done nothing. Alright, Kai's actually kind of owning on this Tracer though. Alright, he loses to Kevster, but he does his job. Gladiator's getting kind of boomed right now. Moth and Mirror are in trouble. They gotta not be behind here. If Space catches them back here, they're in trouble. Oh, how does Iris die again to Mirror? How do these Pharahs stay up so well? So there's a tech that you can do as Pharah. That, first of all, if you can shoot yourself off of roofs to get more height. But also, if you if you shoot the ground to hit yourself and give you some upwards momentum at the same time that you use your shift, you go into orbit and you go really, really high. Especially if you time it perfectly. So these guys have all perfected that. So that's how they're able to get so much height off the bat. And when they get that height, they don't have to use their rocket booster fuel. And then they're also just very good at optimizing their rocket booster fuel. So they can stay in the air and so high. Oh, Iris just got owned by Mira. That was a nice play. I was living for Kai's Tracer diff in chat. It was so funny. Shu gets Masa. Alright, Shu's redeeming himself. Oh, Pelican. He did not realize Pelican was out. That's a trade though. You take that. Do you prefer Edison or Pelican Tracer? Pelicans, I prefer Edison's Tracer, but as of recent, I prefer Pelican's Tracer. I think Pelican's Tracer at the start of the year was kind of awkward. Maybe he just was struggling with his rookie debut season, but he's been much better lately. I see this Kai Tracer again. Mira gets Pelican again. Mira's coming alive in the second half. Shu's also been a menace against Masa. That's why this composition is so hard to watch, because you're fighting on like 3 different fronts, right? Of like the two front lines are trying to dive the 2 back lines, and then there's just a Pharah Mercy duel going on as well that like decides everything. For Edison's Tracer, because Pelican can play literally everything else, yeah. Why are they playing Kai if Edison is the better Tracer? Because they want Kai in so that he can play the hit scan. I think he plays hit scan on like Control Center, and even I think they play Orisa on Control Center and Night Market. So that is why Kai is in. This is like the one round that they probably didn't want to play. But yo, peace out, Clayman. I hope you enjoy the content. That might be the 3rd time Shu has picked Masa out of the air. Literally, Shu is just getting way too much space right now to shoot. Oh, I'm surprised Moth was rezzing Muse. I was like, why did Shu not get helped that entire time? Who wins this? Is it still Sadiators? Yeah, we're still Sadiators in this house. The unfortunate reality. Oh, that was a bad bomb by Space. I think he thought the Pharah combo was going to be over here, but they flew away at the exact moment that he threw it, so that was kind of a bad bomb by Space. Nano Rocket is one shot? Yes, with the damage boost from the Mercy. So that is why you see Nano Farah happening a lot here. Like, because there's nothing else very useful to Nano that is going to get as much consistent value, and it just, default, you win the Farah duel for if you hit a rocket. So that's generally why you do the Nanos. And Nano's just a good hero to play alone.
Helden sterben nicht.
You have my thanks.
Why not Nano Mercy Valk? I was gonna say that's stupid, and then I'm like, is it stupid though? Like, maybe. But it can be hard to do. Because the only thing that I think it would be valuable is potentially running down the other Farah Mercy. But I don't know how hard that is to do. Like, especially if you're expected to 200 or like 200 to 0 them. If your Farah takes damage, you're going to need a turn to heal. I think there's too many things that can go wrong with Nano Valk. Also, you're committing the Valk and the Nano when you really want to keep the Valk for like certain situations. Jaxay 4K, yeah, but that was a different scenario, right? Like, that's... Obviously, that was a perfect situation of when, you know, Jaxay gets the Valk and he's just able to go Sicko mode. I don't think you could consistently get that. Pelican gets Moth. How does Moth die here? Oh, he got too close to the roof again, yeah. Moth just... That's mini GA that he did. He got a little slow. So Pelican gets a good barrage as well. We actually looked at this during the Jaxay match. Wait, maybe it was this match with Masa. And who do you guys think is the Mercy with the highest damage in any given match? Oh no, it was a map. Who is the Mercy with the highest damage in a given map, and how much do you think it was? Ever. Which Mercy did the most damage? I think it was... Because I think it was damage in a map, if I remember correctly. In a map, guys. You guys are saying 7K in a map. What? You guys got a lot better. It was Neptuno with 1.6K in Season 1. Was the most damage ever done in a map, which is a stupid amount of damage, right? Like, obviously the blaster does pretty good damage, but think about it, like, how do you do 1.6K damage in a map? That's... It was kind of wild. It was kind of wild. What was his healing? I don't know. Was this a C9? Pelican kills 2. They're 4 alive. Oh, Kevster. He blunked this way. You needed to blunk this way. Damn, he mustn't have realized that it was going to go down that fast. That's unfortunate. I don't really blame him too much for that. That was... I think it's very easy to make that. Bad blunk, yeah. 1-0. Neptuno said, mess with the pocket, you get the Glocket. Oh my god. The Glocket. Now Kai hit him with the Tracer Diff. Yeah, Kai just hit him with the Tracer Diff just there in case you missed it. So let's look at this. So Atlanta is going to play. This is the comp that I think Atlanta likes the most. We saw this a lot from a couple of the Eastern teams. which was surprising. The Baptiste Brig, McCree, Tracer, Orisa Diva. I think this is the best comp. If you're gonna play Orisa, I think this is the best comp. I think it gives you the most freedom to do a lot of everything. I don't hate the Mercy from time to time with the Pharah, but for the most part, I really like this. Kai played Tracer this whole time, would have been an easy 3-0, yeah. Kai really just giving the Gladiators a chance. And Kai's playing it right as well. He understands he needs the off angle, right? He doesn't want to play behind the Orisa. He just wants to keep being a threat. Oh, the Mercy's won. Oh, that was so unfortunate. So Kai needs to get more damage in if they're gonna win this, right? So obviously the Pharah Mercy and just the damage with Kev throwing that Kree was just too much for Gator and everyone else. Like they just didn't have the front line to hold on to it. I feel like Mirror and Glads is so predictable, and that's sort of what I was talking about earlier, right? If Mirror and Moth are in, you know what's gonna happen, and that can be countered quite easy. Like the element of surprise with your comp is a very important thing. Yveltal number 2. Is anyone surprised with that number? Samira gets Iris. And like you can see the weakness of this comp, that it's very hard for them to get in. When you don't have the space, it looks really bad, right? Your Orisa just gets bullied with the sheer amount of damage that they have. Your McCree doesn't get enough space to kill anyone, and the Gladiators are just essentially just throwing damage and just murdering them. Is Iris Ana Zen any good? We haven't seen a lot of it this season, so it's kind of like TBD. I feel like Kevs has a Pharah in. I wouldn't, yeah, I can assume that Kevs can play Pharah. That was a bad barrage by Mira. This was too greedy. They could definitely play Kevs to Pharah and Buttering Tracer, but then they'd also need to play Skewed. I hate that. I hate that a lot. You also need to hope Skewed can play Mercy. Remember, Skewed is not a main support player. Skewed is a flex support player who plays Brig. So maybe he can play the Mercy, I don't know. But we haven't seen it. So this is quite a bad barrage by Mira because he didn't check anything. He didn't do anything. He didn't force any resources. No one helped him. He literally just walks in front of the Diva and then barrages. Like, of course that's not going to work. Mott goes for the instant res, so that was obviously like a sack play, but it just needed to be more coordinated, I think. They can play Moth Brig, yeah, but then all of a sudden you're moving away. Like, I agree. Moth Brig. I like Moth being in all the time because I think Moth gives you the flexibility, especially in a meta like this. But Gladiators haven't shown a willingness to do that. For the most part, whenever they need to play Brig, Skewed plays, right? Custa's highest was 665 damage on Mercy against Boston Uprising, and boy did I have to scroll to find it. Well, I'm a pacifist Mercy, okay? I don't try and Glock everyone, and if I'm trying to Glock anyone, they don't have much health, okay? I like supporting my team, okay? Copium. Basar has to open up a little bit too much to get hit by the Pharah. This does not look close at all for the for the Atlanta Reign. They are getting bullied by this Mirror Pharah right now. Sky died once. Well, there's one. But yeah, he's just sort of been like unable to step in. And that's sort of the weakness of playing this hit scan, right? Is that if the rest of your team doesn't give you even a little bit more space, like I also think Pelican just hasn't done anything this round as well. Like Pelican has literally just been getting bullied every time he tries to go anywhere. Oh, later. Oh, and they just cap. Did Atlanta get a kill? Oh, I guess they killed Mirror that one time. That was a brutal round. So we got the double hit scan from the Atlanta Reign. We saw this from the Boston Uprising as well. I don't love the McCree Soldier. I don't really like it. I guess it's good against, maybe it's good against the Pharah Mercy, but I feel like the Tracer just gives you more pressure on the rest of the map. Dude, they do no damage at that range. Oh. Alright, and you can sort of see the weakness of the comp, right, from Atlanta, is that they can't really do anything. They're just sort of positioning themselves onto the point. Once they get onto the point and they can bunker down, I think that's when they're in a good spot. But I feel like Kai's just sort of getting caught in the open a little bit too much. The same thing happened on the last one. Any shot you do any live casting during the games? Oh, yeah, I did live casting this. I've done live casting this season. I did it a couple of times. Because it's mainly just because like someone's missing or something like that, or someone's internet shits the bed. Up, Gate is dead. Kai's back up alive as well. As long as Masa lives, he's actually owning. Oh, good barrage by Mira though. Masa deciding to go against violence against Moth. Mercy on mercy action. Well, regret saying that. Alright, Mira just kind of cleans up in the end. So now it becomes the problem, and the Rain's gonna have the same issue they had on the last round, where they all of a sudden have to get to the point without dying against this Pharah.
Thanks.
Damage and
Thank you.
I'm taking care. My ultimate is charged. My ultimate is ready.
I am empowered.
Alright, we got a visor. It's the most, that's like the most classic thing as a soldier. Just like, I'm visoring, and then you just get killed, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, yeah, right, that happened. They just can't close the distance to the point right now. Bonk. Oh man, Mira Pharah looking kind of clean in this round. How did the visor not work? I am shocked. This is my shock bet.
System repaired.
Move back. Let's get
You
to
have
that
my
outpost.
thanks.
Damage increase.
Thanks for the assist.
Damage boost.
Clearing the area.
I'm taking care of you.
Oh. Oh, that... I think Mira's barrages might be his weakest part of his game. This might be the weakest part of his game. It feels like he does it, like he keeps trying to like force them and go, like, I feel like they don't need to do anything in that scenario. Like, he should wait for them to come into like this part of the map and then go, right? Like, by trying to go this far through the open, that's just gonna happen. You're gonna just get, there's too much distance to close before you're gonna get the barrage off.
I could use some healing. I need healing.
Yeah, so now Atlanta gonna get the point off that. Never checks for Diva, yeah. Like, Hawk's a great Diva. Like, he's not gonna let you just get away with a free barrage. You need to force Hawk out of position, or like make him choose so that it can be effective. Oh, Custa down. Mira throwing up classic rank barrages, yeah. Res me, I'm dead. Alright, so let's see how Gladiators try to get back into this. Kai almost has barrage. If Kai was paying attention, I would love to have seen him go coast and try and high noon the people on coast. Did you say Hawk and Space are the best Western up tanks? Yeah, I think they're both definitely up there. This was so poorly done. Alright, good save though. He just can't find anyone to shoot at. This is so unfortunate. Yeah, he's just not getting effectiveness. When you're playing a Pharah Mercy, you need to get more effectiveness faster. Otherwise, like, the rest of your team just bleeds out, and that's what happened, right? Guys, right? No, sorry, high noon, I mean.
Hello. Greetings.
I'm taking care of you.
Alright, Kai.
Power.
Yeah! Look at that. Mira's like, maybe we don't go this way. There's no way Mira goes for this. Oh, Kai, just high noon it. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way Moth made it. I guess he's gonna Valk and go.
Heroes never die.
Oh, what?
This is not your time.
Oh, nice play. That's a better barrage. It's not great, but it's gonna force that everything from the rain, right? Oh, this bongo was actually so sick. It just did so much damage. They just cleared up the point. Is Troy considered a Western off tank because he plays in the West? No, it is from where the region that you've like. It's essentially like the region that you mainly played in, or like where you originally came from. Like, obviously, Troy's been in an A for long enough, but he's still considered a Korean player, right? So, Battle Cattle strikes again. The land against the first map over the Gladiators. There it is. I'm okay as the best wrestler in the league. He definitely is stronger. He definitely understands it, right?
Ready for battle.
Moth best Mercy. There's a lot of really good Mercies in the league these days. I don't really like ranking players. Like, you guys are just like naming very good players, right? Like, Space, Hawk. I think Punk's played really well this season. I think they're the best. Like, they're some of the best tanks we have. Like, obviously, like, I don't like making like lists and rankings and numbers and stuff like that. They're all great, and that's the most important thing. All right, now we get to look at the Kai Torbjorn. Vestol's had a really good season as well. Alright, so Gladiators are going to try and play this Tracer Sombra, like the very standard, skewed in, birdering in. They're going to play the Sombra Brig. They're going to try and dive against this rain setup. So that's why Kai is now playing the Torb. They're just going to bunker down. They're going to play the Farah Mercy and apply a ton of pressure on the Zen and the Brig, and then just try and bunker down with everyone else. Will I ban? Thank you for the 3 months. Like, is Piggy a Western off-tank since he's a rookie on a Western team? No, because Piggy came and has originally played and come from a Korean. Like, he's Korean. Like, he's a Korean player. He came from Korea and that kind of stuff. It's not as much about where you've played or how you've played. Like, it's essentially just like, are you Korean? Are you Western? Right? Like, those are the real question. Europe is a part of the Western ideology and that kind of stuff. Like, Dr. Pez, thank you for the Prime Gaming sub. Do you think London could go 3-1 this stage? Okay. Here's my problem with the question, right? Is you're asking me if an 0-12 team can go 3-1, right? Yeah, maybe. They are beatable teams for London if they play really well, but will they? Probably not. Are they going to string together 3 great wins at the end of the season? Like, obviously, I think Vancouver should be a good one for London. That should be where they get their win. But the other two, it's like they haven't shown an ability to beat those teams, so I'm not going to predict it. Maybe they can be maybe they can go 2-2. I think it's more likely that they go 2-2. Like, they can easily get another win. Could be a good meta for them. This is really good play from the Gladiators. They're just sort of like spreading around them, and they actually take this off angle with Birdring. They have the Zen and the Brig walking up. I think Pelican needs to play more aggressive. I think Pelican is not playing aggressive enough, and that enables the rest of the team to walk up and just apply a ton of pressure, right? Like, Shu gets into this room. The Brig is just standing here. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. I think Pelican's playing too passive in this setup. So nationality is what you're saying. Yeah, there's exceptions to that. Obviously, it's not always just nationality, but... I haven't seen the cats in a while. Are the cats okay? Alright, let's just make sure. So, there's Bo. And then here's Arya sleeping in the cupboard. Under that. That's a cat. In case that wasn't clear. The cats are chilling. Wait, how did Atlanta win that? I looked away to show you guys the cats. So they get... So they get Gator. So they step up. They get Gator. How did the Gladiators lose this? I don't agree with that all in from Space. I don't think he needed to all in there. There's no reason that they had to go in. They have the Zen, they have the Brig, I think they can play around them. The opposition doesn't have an Orisa anymore. I think that might have been greedy from Space. So the res comes off on Gator as well by Masa. And then Space dies. Yeah, that was kind of a bad play by Space. The Kai Torbjorn is legendary. Space washing. So he made a bad play. He's still a great player. Space is trying to make more space, trying to live up to his name. So this is much better by Pelican. I like this aggressive play, right? You see how the Zen and the Brig just can't even walk up? And because of how aggressive they're playing, when the EMP comes out, the Zen and Brig cannot support this at all. So obviously this is going to still be a good dive. They got the Tracer, the Sombra, the Wrecking Ball. Pretty well coordinated. But it means that everyone else can't space. And space is far enough away because of how aggressive he had to do to protect them. Iris goes down. Masa should be able to get this res quite easily with the Valk. And the recalls come out from them. Oh, nice kill by... with the Pulse Bomb in the Discord. Pelican gets Kevster, which is a big kill. I love the bomb. Muse just sat under it. Oh, they're gonna rally out of this as well. Yeah, I don't agree with that rally from Skewed. I feel like that's just opening the door to get like them just being like, okay, you want to commit rally? We're gonna use a barrage. Oh, Iris. I think both of them thought it went straight up. I think they both thought it went straight up, but it actually went a little bit tilted. So they wanted to get off the platform, so they both jumped off. Assume Iris doesn't have a lamp. Yeah. What a bomb. Yo, Space is in their heads. That was a great bomb by Space. That should essentially win them the round. Disgusting. It was discussing reading the YouTube chat as the match was playing. I read a comment that said Space was only a Glads because of his skin color. Let me fix this for you, okay? YouTube chat is a terrible place, and you should never go into YouTube chat. As much as there are probably nice people there, it is literally just a cesspool of people trying to trigger other people and trying to say things to be edgy and rude and that kind of stuff. And they're just hiding behind the guise of anonymity. People who say that shit are cowards and assholes. So don't worry about them. Just don't read YouTube chat. That's what I do. It's literally the first thing. If I ever open YouTube, the first thing I do is close the chat. Literally the first thing I do every time I enter a YouTube chat. It's even bad for like with Twitch chat, like when we had Twitch chat. When you have that many people, people feel like they can say whatever they want and hide behind, you know, the fact that they're just like hiding in a crowd, saying shit in a crowd, right? It's just terrible people. Don't worry about them. Like, try and ignore them. Fuck the haters. Muse is the biggest problem with the Gladiators. I disagree with that. I think Muse has been fine. I think that the Gladiators lose to themselves, and I think everyone has bad moments. I think literally everyone on this team has been at fault at some point in this season. It is not one person's fault why the Gladiators suck. Literally, like, Space has had bad games. I think Shoes had some really bad games, especially towards the earlier of the season. I think Birdring has been up and down with certain situations. Kevster wasn't that good until he really made it to North America. And even then, they're still quite good. Kevster did nothing wrong. Kevster was a big part of what was wrong in the Melee. What do you guys mean? Kevster was quite average until he came to North America and stopped playing on ping. Just because you like a player doesn't mean they're not at fault. Dude, Shu is pulling an Izayaki. What is this? Shu's been watching way too much Izayaki. Look at this. Why do they keep putting Butter in Summers? Butter in Summers okay. It's not the best that we have in the business. Oh, shoot. That was a good play, though. It was a good play. I think he understood that they wanted to push their advantage. Let's look at the bird ring Sombra. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the play. It's just like, it's a very risky play, right? He's playing with that. Izayaki did that this week. Yes, the Izayaki play. Like, Izayaki does that all the time. Because, like, think about it this way, right? If you're looking at it from Shu's perspective, when do you ever use your Transcendence against this composition from the Atlanta Reign, right? It's very hard to find it. It's not like they have... When they use this ultimate, I use Transcendence. So you generally want to find ways to force the advantage of the Transcendence. And that's why, like, when Izayaki does it, it is very good. You play very greedy, you put yourself at the forefront, you dive with the rest of the team. It's legitimately just using Zen as you're using your ultimate as a dive, and then you dive with them, use the ultimate, you do damage, and then you enable the rest of the dive. I meant he fat fingered. Oh yeah, well Shu didn't fat finger, but yes, Izayaki 100% fat finger. Great EMP by Birdering. That's going to close that out, and they should get them the first point. Yeah, Izayaki had a real bad fat finger. We caught it on the YouTube on our review. I don't like how long this took at Gladiators to... I don't really like what happened here. Like, so they get the picks. So they have the picks, they have the advantage, and they want to go early. So they want to get the dive. They stick Masa, and then they get the EMP, and then Masa dies. And they clean up, right? Birdering doesn't have a translocator, and because both of the supports are on the card, I believe. Oh, wait, no, Shu's here, right? Why did I just lose, like, all... Why is it so, like... bleh? Like, I can't do it more... What did I do? It's so clunky now. What? Okay. I don't know what I did. So Birdring goes down, but I feel like, once again, we have a pretty big disconnect on their dive. Gator's 1 health, Pelican's 1 health. So they get Gator, but then Pelican goes on to live. Space gets forced to use his bomb and dies for it. So then it feels like they didn't commit to the dive, or they didn't call targets right, so therefore they lost a couple of people. And now they have to take like a 4v3 with respawners from the Atlanta Reign, and now it's just going to be hard for them to win. Oh, that bongo's a problem. Where is Birdring? Like, I don't even know where they are. Kai on the legs. Sometimes you gotta lock him, dude. Oh, Pelican caught him. Good play by Pelican. Alright, so another Transcendence from Shu. Pelican's just living as an imposter in the backline. Wow, that was a clean pulse bomb by Custa. Pelican's pissed. Respect the 1v1 Birdering, okay? That's just rude, okay? There was a great 1v1 going on, and then you're just gonna be like, oh no, hey guys, I'm here. I'm gonna shoot at you with my gun. The disrespect. Kai gets Muse. Gator shouldn't live very long on this cart. Kai on the point. Dude, Kai's done a pretty good job. They've done a good job of stalling this out against all odds. But it should just be it. When was the last time 76 was meta? Like properly meta a while ago. 76 isn't really like hard meta. He's definitely viable, but he's not hard meta right now. Both of them should be switching. There is no reason. Well, I guess Atlanta, Kai is always going to play that hit scan, but Birdering, oh, but I guess Birdering then up. Yeah, actually, I actually kind of like the soldier on both. I was thinking that they were in the ball mirror, but I forgot that they were on Orisa. So it's like, it would be valuable for Rain to play Sombra. Like, I think Sombra would be good for Kai, but he doesn't really play a lot of Sombra. So it makes sense why they're not doing it. While Gladiators is like, Sombra isn't that good against Rain's comp. Like, it's good, and it can definitely work, but it's not, like, I think legs can get just as much value by applying, like, flank, like, sidewards damage pressure, right? Is there a hero that's never been meta? Bastion has never been meta. Like, very niche Bastion has been meta, but, like, Pirate Ship has never been, like, the meta, right? Like, so, yeah, but you get jumped by, well, you can play smart, like, you see the way that Birdring is playing, because you have the health pack, and you can run away, you can't be killed by one person for the most part, right? You'll live for long enough for someone to help you, or you'll get away. So that's what makes Soldier good, is, like, you are just constant pressure, like, you're constant damage. He should be on the cart right now, though. He needs to be pushing the cart. Birdring, if you just, like, take a couple of steps back, you'll push the cart while this all happens. There's no damage fall off on the visor now, that's great. The car's going backwards the whole time. Literally, look at this. Reyna playing Zen Brig with Orisa? Yeah. Because Zen Brig is quite good against the Wrecking Ball dive. I prefer the BAP from Iris. Like, I think the BAP can be better, but the Zen's not awful. I would definitely prefer the BAP, but Zen Brig isn't. The problem with Zen, like, the problem with Zen Brig is that you don't have a lot of healing, but they don't need a lot of healing right now. The Orisa is going to need a lot of healing, but I think they're preferring the damage. Like, I don't love it. But also, look at where Birdring is. If he just steps back, the card will move while he's doing this, right? And that would have made it. Like, it could have ended up like here. And then if they won that team fight, all of a sudden there's cart pressure for the third point and they have to rush it, right? Obviously, it doesn't matter because they lost the team fight, but, like, it's the little things that if he had been pushing it and Gladiators won the fight, it would have been a big deal. I wouldn't be surprised to see Iris switch off eventually. Interesting to see. Well, he's not going to switch. They're not going to switch now, I think. If the other team's playing Orisa, especially with the Soldier, with the Zen, you have a lot of damage. Especially from range, it's going to force the objective. So Gladiators are actually going to mirror the Atlanta Reign at this point. Which is interesting. Who's the best Widow in Season 1? It's a good question. Birdring? Maybe Carpe, actually. It wasn't Pine. I would say Birdring or Carpe. I would say. Like, people say it's like, oh, who was the best Widow in Season 1? It was Pine, right? He played for the NYXL. Wasn't Sabiolbi? Didn't Sabiolbi play the Widow? I'm pretty sure Sabiolbi played the Widow for them in Stage 4. Towards the end of the season. Soon improved a lot in the season. He wasn't known as a Widowmaker player. He actually got really good in Stage 4. He was a part of, like, our almost perfect stage, and when we won Stage 4, like, he was an important member of that. So Soon's Widow was very good. I wouldn't say he's the best, but he was very good. Soon was, like, consistent, and that was what made him great. Damn, that was a nice kill by Pelican. Saya was insanely good, yeah. Maybe Saya was the best, and he was just on a bad team, because he was in Season 1 Florida Mayhem, which was just awful. But Saya player had... I remember this game, Valiant played against the Florida Mayhem and towards the end of Season 1, and Saya player was, like, insane that game. He had, like, 30% crit hit accuracy, which back then was insane. Damn, clean by Pelican. Linksa somehow had the most final blows. Linksa was really good as well. Like, I don't think there were Widow players that, like, stood out way above the rest in Season 1. There are a lot of I think there would have been a lot of really good. Like, I would say there's probably, like, and there are only 12 teams. I would say probably in, like, 8 teams, there were very comparable Widowmakers. Like, obviously, there are some that are a little bit better, like your Carpes, your Birdrings, and stuff like that, but everyone was pretty competitive. I think it's boot by Hawk, yeah, like the pulse bomb into the boot with the pulse bomb. Thank you very much for money. Oh, Pelican. Do you think CPLB will ever play this season? No. Oh my god, Gator almost like pinned into everyone else. Oh, what a throw. This was the first time we saw the Reinhardt, and me and Johnny were molding. I really don't like the Reinhardt. I just don't understand why you go Reinhardt. Maybe if like he can close the distance in these two comps, if he can close the distance and swing, kinda, and he's more mobile with the shield, but I just think Orisa is better. I think the supercharge is better. I've talked about this. Like, I think the fortify is important. They probably scrimmed the shark, yeah. And that was in the post-game interview we had with Atlanta Reign, we actually talked to to Gator and we're like, why are you playing Ryan? And he said, I saw someone else do it in scrims and we tried it out. And he's like, there's benefits and cons to both, right? There's pros and cons to playing the Orisa and playing the Reinhardt. And he's like, he's not sure if it's good. But I think the team that he scrimmed against was actually the San Francisco Shock. Because him and Super are just really trying hard to make Reinhardt meta right now. Especially with Zen's in the round. Like, look at him. Like, he stands there with his shield up. His fire strike gets eaten. But he doesn't do anything really, right? Like, I guess if he's able to swing like that, right? Like, how consistently are you able to swing like that? If you can do that all the time, then maybe. Oh. It's not going to work against a good Ball team. I think Farah and Ball both do quite well against the Reinhardt. Because the Reinhardt doesn't do very well against the Ball because it just like, everyone just runs away from you. Maybe the Reinhardt in these head-to-heads where you're both going to play Orisa, maybe the Reinhardt is better in that head-to-head. I could see that because you use the Ryan to close the distance. Because if Ryan gets on top of the Orisa and on top of the opposition, Ryan's always going to be better, right? I don't think anyone can disagree with that. But the question is, can you do that? Gladiators just fucked up their swaps here. Like, Atlanta's comp is just better. Just through and true, the Atlanta comp is just better. They have nothing to do with this Farah. No, I don't expect to see Pine play. I feel like one thing is Ryan brings is to slightly contest the Tracer since Hammer at 2 shots. If a Tracer is dying to a Reinhardt, the Tracer is not an Overwatch League level Tracer. An Overwatch League level Tracer should not die to a Reinhardt. And here's just like, glad it's just bleeding out because they don't have anyone to deal with the Farah. Like, Pelican is literally free. They don't have anyone to deal with it. They have to hope Buttering hits a big shot. As long as they keep Iris alive, they'll be good. Pelican needs to hit some shots though. There we go. Yeah, Pelican, they might lose this just on the back of Pelican just missed too many rockets. He just didn't do enough damage for how free he was. You wanna get some Custa pub? Alright, let's do it. I blink it around, shield and let him swing at me. Maybe that's where you guys are going wrong. Doing any more games? Yeah, I'll probably do one more game after this. I'm not sure how much longer I can go for, but we'll see. It's key to learn Tracy. Sorry, you're asking the wrong person. I cannot help you with DPS. Oh, Masar gets hit. I think that was a Zen orb. Well, I guess that works on taking the Mercy out of the air. Everyone just shoots at him for a really long time. I don't know how they're not getting more kills. Like, Atlanta is not just opening this shit wide open. Oh yeah, Kai's dead as well. And Kent's is just free, right? No, I haven't talked about Meg. We can max deaths on the next game? Yeah, we are gonna. Can we get some Iris pub later? Yeah. Sure. Gladiators are doing a great job at defending. They actually, Atlanta switches off the Pharah, which is interesting. I feel like their comp should work against this. Scoot going to Baptiste is a problem for them, I think. Like, slightly. Well, actually, has Scoot always been on Bap? Was Scoot always on Bap? Why do I feel like I thought he was on Brig? Oh, he was always on Bap. No, I still think Rain's comp should win. I guess their biggest weakness is they have a lot of damage with the Hanzo Pharah, and I think the weakness of this comp is that if you don't hit shots, you just lose. And I think that's kind of what happened. Like, Kai and Pelican haven't really hit many good shots because they don't have good, like, neutral damage. They just, like, the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball are going to run around them for pretty much free. But they should get picks, and they just haven't, which is interesting, so. Coaches should tell players to turn match shit up to avoid being trash talk? Yeah, I mean, if you want. Some players feed off of the trash talk, some players don't like the trash talk, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of one of those things of like, just if it affects you, turn it off. If it doesn't, then don't. Like, I don't give a shit what people do. Like, I don't care if someone teabags me or if someone talks shit about me in match chat. Like, I assume you guys have heard this before, but like, when I was playing in season 1 and season 2, we weren't allowed to talk in match chat, other than like if you needed a ref or something like that, because Jake got it banned because Jake was trash talking people in like match chat. I don't know what he said, I don't know what happened, but it has been told that Jake was the reason that we weren't allowed to talk in match chat. Yeah, the man who was on the receiving end. Well, Jake teabagged me, but I don't. Jake's smart enough to know that it'll tilt people, and that's why Jake does it. That's why Jake talks shit in match chat. That's why Jake teabags people, because he knows it affects people. It really does. Some people really get like tilted by that kind of shit. It doesn't matter to me. You teabag me, it's like Jake as a Junkrat killed me as I think I was Mercy in a losing team fight. And he teabags me. It's like, I don't give a shit. Anyone can teabag anyone. It's not like he did it. Like, it's teabagging. The reason I think teabagging is stupid, that people get like upset about, is like anyone can teabag anyone. It's not like he does something that is disrespectful. It's like he's literally just teabagging. It's like we kill them all the time. Should I teabag them? Would that make you? I don't know why it tilts people so much. I really don't get it. Alright, so Atlanta's finally stepping up. They got the McCree and the Tracer and everything starts looking up. So they go to their, like, official bunker style.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
Riptide, thank you for the Prime Gaming sub.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Oh, Shu gets Pelican? How does that happen? Do you hit him with the right click?
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Oh, literally no even headshots. Just going.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
Jam Tree, thank you for the Prime Gaming sub.
My ultimate is charged.
Glad Zen skin looks so clean. Yeah, it is cool. Oh, she's kind of nasty with it right now. So Marsar's still on the Mercy. I actually don't mind the Mercy. I think he should probably be on Brig, but I don't hate the Mercy. You're safe on the Destiny this weekend? People at Paris aren't playing? Love to hear it. Do you think Jake's been told to tone down the trash talk this year because we haven't seen much from him? No, well, like, okay, here's the thing. I think a lot of you think I think a lot of you think that, like, players are people. People are gonna do whatever the fuck they want. Like, obviously, if you do something against the rules or the league steps in about things, then you know these things are controlled. But for the most part, people are their own people with free will and all that kind of stuff. Jake probably hasn't trash talked as much because he doesn't want to trash talk or something like that. It's the same thing when we were talking about like the like players shouldn't, like they should ban people from players from going on social media and stuff like this. You can't control people. People want to sabotage themselves by using these things, then or like doing these things, then they can. But that's people's life and that's people's freedom, and you can't take that away from people. Let people be who they are and do what they want, right? Shock picked up an assistant coach. Big. Did they have assistant coaches before? They had an assistant coach before, because obviously Junkbuck and 9K left, but I assume that they had other coaches, right? Historias, that's who I was missing out. So, I feel like they've definitely struggled with coaching. We're going to see a dive from Shu again. Dude, he is playing with fire with how low he gets. He got to 40 health before popping that Transcendence. But that's Shu going aggressive again. Dude, I love it. Alright, let's get some overhead going. Historias is an analyst, but analyst is essentially assistant coaches anyway, right? Like, it's the same job. Dive is so clean, and that's the issue that I think the Rain are struggling to take space, and this is a classic one where this is a map where I'd almost prefer to see them go back to the Pharaoh, because I think the Pharaoh could definitely work better here, because I don't think they're ever going to get the space on this point. Like, and you see them, they've just been sort of like dilly-dallying around on the Orisa trying to find space, but every time they try and go anywhere, Gladiators just have too much positioning. They can't stop Shu and Scoot in the back. They're just like free to do whatever the hell they want. Gator, as soon as Gator goes aggressive, they get forced away and they just die. Like, I think that Lana Rain's comp just doesn't work on this point. And I think it's kind of a mess up by them. They can play the Pharaoh, so I would have preferred to see them switch over to that Pharaoh. Yeah, I did hear about the San Francisco Shock stuff. All right, let's have a look at it so I don't keep getting asked about it, so we can say we talked about it. I assume. Here we go. Drop a winnable. Working on new family. By Zenith to the Shock family. I don't know much about By Zenith. Let's look him up real quick. So he's an assistant coach of the San Francisco Shock. Let's. By Zenith. Wikipedia. Oh, wash. So By Zenith is an American coach. He previously coached Drifters, a team. It's been around for a while, actually. Oh, he was the owner. He was a coach and then he was the owner. So he doesn't have, like, Third Impact, Monta... Yeah, so... he was the original coach for Goats, maybe, back in the day. So he's been around. He's had a pretty good track record. Like, you just look at his track record. Second, fifth, sixth, all this kind of stuff. I don't know anything about him. I legitimately don't have any insight on, like, is he a good coach? Is that kind of stuff? I don't know anything about the guy. So... we'll see. Hopefully it helps the Shock. They've definitely been struggling maybe with some of the coaching decisions and coordination. So hopefully By Zenith can help them out.
Ready for battle.
By Zenith with Tayo's former coach. Interesting. Tayo and Iris' former coach. Ah, that's an interesting coordination. I wonder if that's like they vouch for him pretty heavily and that's why he's here. Third championship incoming, yeah.
5, 4, 3.
Alright, so we're gonna see the Gladiators. They're actually gonna play the slow style again. They're gonna. It seems like they like the Soldier Orisa. They're gonna stick with it, especially with the Bap Zen. I kind of want to have a look at the Bap from Scoot. And I guess this is the value of having Scoot in the lineup. And I guess I haven't really thought about this. Scoot is a flex support player, so if he can play the Brig, he can go back and forth between the Zen and the Baptiste. Leonard is committed to the Orisa, except for right now. So they're actually going to play the dive. I think this is really good. This is a good catch by the Atlanta Rain. I think Atlanta has the advantage in this composition if they just play this straight up dive. The backline from the Gladiators, we've talked about the Zen Baptiste before. And I actually think this, the Gladiators got a lot of flack for this. Is it the Gladiators who everyone got upset about the Zen Baptiste? Or was it Houston? I think it was Houston, right? Houston played Zen Baptiste, and they got a lot of flack for this composition. This composition makes sense if you are playing against an Orisa. I think if you're playing against this Wrecking Ball, Tracer, Sombra Dive, I think you get run over, and we'll try and put this theory to the test. And the reason it does get run over is the Zen and the Baptiste, they do not deal well with getting dove. One of the reasons that Brig is so strong in this meta is because against a Wrecking Ball, a Tracer, or Sombra, the Brig can push away so much. They got armor packs, they got rally, they got their Inspire, and they can get Inspire uptime a lot. They can make it hard for the dive to happen. But Zen and Baptiste don't do either of that, right? Both of them do a lot of damage if they're allowed to be free to go there. The lamp isn't that effective in this current situation, and sometimes hitting the heals onto a Zenyatta as the Baptiste can be quite difficult. So it just makes it hard for the Zenyatta to stay alive. We're gonna get some skewed pop and just sort of have a look at this. And Houston also played the ball with the Bap as well, which is another level of throw of the Baptiste Zen. It could be the expected power. It could 100% be that they expected power, right? So they could have easily got counter comp by this, and I'm curious to see what their switches are after this. Because they were just very successful with the Zen Baptiste comp. So the comp makes sense, right? And you can make it work against the Pharah, against the Orisa. But against this comp, I'm not in love with it. So let's see how they do. How London and Vancouver 0-12? What's the problem with the two teams? I haven't been watching the Overwatch League for that long. They just don't have very good players. Like, their players just... Like, the league has leveled up so much in the last couple of years. And, like, players have just gotten way better. And London, not so much because they had a lot of... they had high prospect chances because they came from British Hurricanes, great EU contenders team. And I also think London has played down to their potential. Like, sorry, played down from their potential. They just haven't played as well as we really expect. Obviously, Sparker wasn't in the lineup. Vancouver, my biggest issue with the whole Vancouver setup is they signed players that had experience, but not a lot of, like, I think I haven't seen great things out of, like, Fire, FRD, Linksa any time of lately. Then they picked up Chung-Sik, someone who was completely unproven. Dalton's solid, but, like, also hasn't really done anything crazy. Teru, I think, was one of the biggest prospects for the Vancouver Titans, but even then, seems like he's not playing that much. He hasn't integrated that well. Like, everything with the Vancouver Titans has really struggled down, right? So, it's just the way it is. Like, it's just a sad reality. And that's why everyone said, like, yeah, Rule's okay. Like, they're all fine, right? Like, all the players are fine, and if they're on other teams, they wouldn't be talked about as much, right? They'd just be that fine player on that team, and everyone would be fine. But if you put all of these... I would say fine players in one lineup and they go up against good teams and good players and like with a lot of prospects, that they just don't match up that well. And then once you start losing, it gets very hard to get out of that hole, to keep that improvement, all that frustration. I'm sure they don't get a lot of great scrims against a lot of great teams. Just becomes this compounding effect of that's where you end up 0-12. I think it's wiser for Terry to stay in contenders. Yeah. And, you know, I would advise, it's kind of like the Myeonbong effect. Obviously, Myeonbong's in a better spot as of late. But, yeah, when Myeonbong signed to the Boston Uprising from last year, he was an incredible player and we could see it. And the same thing can be said for Teru from bits and pieces this season. But, you know, they're stuck on a Western team where they don't probably have a lot of resources. Like, do you guys think Vancouver Titans are providing a ton of resources to make Teru feel integrated into the team? He is playing with like 6 other Western players who don't speak any Korean and all that kind of stuff. Do you think they have a perfect translator for Teru to make sure he knows what's going on, that he's coordinating with the team, that they understand each other and all that kind of stuff? There's a reason you generally don't just have like one Korean player in there. It's because you can't, it's very hard for them. And I'm sure it's very lonely as well. So I do feel for the guy. And I hope he gets an opportunity on another team. I played a ton of ranked with Teru, so I really like the guy. I am biased towards him. Shu gets right-clicked by Iris. That's a crazy opening by Iris. Let's have a look at Iris then. Chung-Sik too. I guess Chung-Sik now as well. Oh, that's a bit of a C9, but it's probably over anyway. Trade window for mines. The score in this match right now is 1-1. So let's see if Houston changed their comp at all. Sorry, not Houston. It's funny, but let's see if Gladiators changed their comp at all. And there you go. Skew goes to the Brig. I think Muse might stay on the Orisa for the Supercharger. Maybe same thing with Birdering for the Visor. So we'll see what they do with this. Their biggest issue is that Iris can just Transcendence whenever they use the Visor and the Supercharger. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Alright, now we got the aggression. So they're rallying first. Bongo. Oh, Iris! Don't get so greedy. There's a Bongo Visor down. As soon as that Orisa pull went out, he needed to Transcend. He needed to use that Transcendence. Do Bass Matrix and Bongo stack? Yes. Alright, this is going to be hard for Atlanta now. It's hard to get into this point now. Like, that's a really important fight for the Atlanta Reign to lose. Because Gladiators can hold pretty well here with Orisa. I actually think their comp can work, given they have a defensive setup. Like, you see how the Reign has to, like, try and make their way in to, like, this point without getting isolated. They obviously still have the Transcendence. Oh, Shu goes down. How does Shu die? Here's the Transcendence as well. I wonder if he gets greedy with his Transcendence this time. Because he's being, as I said, he's being greedy. Oh, he got hacked. That's a problem. Oh, then he jumped down. Alright, that was actually pretty well played by the Atlanta Reign. Oh, nice pulse bomb on a skewed by Kai as well. Alright, so this might be winnable. 4v4. But there's no supports for the Gladiators. What's going on over here? Gladiators won the setup. Alright, well, Gladiators live to fight another day. You want me to go back and look at the stick from Custa? Alright, let's go back real quick. This better be the sickest pulse bomb I've ever seen. No. He gets bonked and then he gets like the perfect distance away from the Brig. That's kind of funny. Valiant would 3-0 the Titans, no question about it. I disagree. I kind of would love to see the two teams play. I think Vancouver would win. Mullen run, like, I think Vancouver would win. I actually don't know. It would be close. But yeah, I would, it is literally just because of their DPS lineup. I think Molan Run and Crystal are really good. So I'm under skewed. Oh, the double melee that Johnny was so excited about. Double melee all the way. Guys, please get out of this room. And you can see the problem with Atlanta Reign's comp right now is they're struggling to just get into the fight. Because they have to route through this way and their backline is just trying to get anywhere. I would prefer to see the backline go like top right. And then like everyone else goes like that way. But it just feels like they're all walking as a 6-man unit into a small room and the Gladiators are just not letting them do anything with it. The power of friendship greater than breadsticks? I don't know. There's some good breadsticks. Oh, good EMP on the shoe. Oh, he's gonna live. Oh, wow. Muse got melted. Holy shit. Iris has got to play aggressive with his Transcendence. He gets a force by space. Gator gets the mines on a birdering. Kai gets another great pulse bomb. Kai's pulse bombs have been quite good. I want to have a look at this. Which season had the greatest disparity between greatest and best and worst teams? Season 1, for sure. Maybe this season. I don't know. There are some really bad teams. But like, Shanghai Dragons and Florida Mayhem were really bad in season 1. I don't think it is this season. Season 2? I don't think it was season 2. I don't think there was a disparity between teams. I think their meta was just very black and white in terms of like, in GOATs you either were winning or you didn't, right? Like, oh god, Hawk just tried to protect them and just got murdered. So Gladiators once again holding close. So Gator actually switches to the Reinhardt, and I actually like the Reinhardt on this point. This like one point I actually like the Reinhardt. I think Kai needs to switch to hit scan though if they're gonna play this. I think he needs to get off the Tracer. How do they make this Reinhardt work? Do a 360. His shield just breaks. He's literally just a shield sponge. This is why I don't really like Reinhardt, is like, it's not the fact that everything disappears so fast. The same thing happens with Orisa. The thing about Orisa is at least you can keep pulling people. You have your Fortify, you can shoot from range, you can do something. As Reinhardt, sometimes you just die. Like, right, he just did nothing and died. It's literally me in comp, yeah. Alright, so Kai switches over to the Hanzo. I like this Hanzo switch. I gotta open my window. It's getting hot in here. Alright, Kai Hanzo, what do we got? Wait, what did I just... What's the button? What button did I press? Alt Z. So I'm pressing. Alright, I just needed to get off of that screen. Alright. Monka? This is a great example of why Reinhardt probably isn't very good. Oh, he's just getting bullied by Kevster. Chad pin into Gold Orisa. Legitimately, that was the most alpha, but also the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Reminds me of the Chad mate, yeah. Pig slam. Here we go. He's getting Bized in the back. Whoo! Yeah. Oh yeah. That. I am not having a good time. Are they gonna win this fight? God, Rally's so powerful. Gator's getting bullied. It's fine. He's on wreck more now, so he's in a good stuff. Maybe I really don't like maybe the Reinhardt can work better on defense. I don't like it on attack. It feels like you're just walking into a mixer. Oh, wow, that was such a big dragon. Holy shit. Excuse me? How much damage did that dragon just do? Oh my god. Okay then. What do you think of Muse? Muse is okay. He hasn't, like, heavily impressed me this season. He's had some good games. He's definitely had some average games. Has any team not played D.Va 100% of the time? Yeah, there's a bunch of teams in the East that play a lot of Xayah. NYXL and Philly play a lot of Xayah. Alright, so we're gonna see the Reinhardt's like defensive setup from the Atlanta Reign, and this was this was a situation where I was like, if they were gonna play Pharah, this would have been a great time for Gladiators to play Pharah, right? Against this Torb, McCree, Baptiste, Brig, Ryan, like Pharah would actually just shit on this, and I would like to see them be able to like make this switch if they have to, because obviously like they don't need to play Pharah that much, but like this is just such a good Pharah point. Who plays Pharah? You could easily have Kevster play the Pharah. Birdring can stay playing the Sombra, and then you have Scoot go to the Mercy, right? Like, I assume Kevster can play Pharah. He can play everything. Because the problem with this dive, like, this composition that the Gladiator, that the Reign is playing is literally built to counter the Gladiators comp. It is 100% designed to counter this Wrecking Ball Tracer Sombra comp. So Gladiators are sort of just walking into the counter comp. As Birthing Tracer, he just hasn't played in a long time. Birdring has played with great Tracer players for like such a long time that he just like hasn't really been required to play it. Actually, I'm gonna go for an overview. Yeah, and this is sort of the Gladiators sort of cornering themselves a little bit. So they got a 3-3 split from the Gladiators, but... Oh, no. Oh! Hoo, hoo. Hoo. That was close. That was close. Oh, good stick. Good lamp by Iris, though. Dude, Shu is 1 health. Like, you can see they just can't effectively dive against this very defensive style. Light space. And this is why, like, it's just like... This isn't even, like, complicated. They definitely need to switch. Like, Gladiators should know better than this, right? That they're walking into the counter comp. Even if they just went, like, the Orisa... Even if they went, like, the Orisa Soldier shit again, like, I would be fine. Like, they could go to their Zen Bap Orisa Soldier, and I think it would work way better against this Reign comp. Good EMP, on to 4. Unfortunately, the EMP is already out. Alright, Gator goes down, which isn't too surprising. I think that window was supposed to be there by Iris. So you take that if you're the Atlanta Reign. Wait, they use... They got out EMP and they use Rally, but like they have so many ults, their comp is good. And they still have the ult advantage, they have the comp advantage. There's literally no reason for Atlanta Reign to do anything different, so. Alright, where's the divers? Where's the Tracer? Alright, so Kevs is there, Birdering's here. They got Birdering out of stealth, that's actually such a big deal. Okay, Pelicans covering the cart a little bit, you know? This cart's, you know, is their only option.
Time to raise my APM.
Slam, that's... As soon as he slammed, I'm like, that's just not gonna work. He needs people... Space needs to follow him. If Muse is gonna go for that slam, Space needs to be there to follow him up. He cannot slam in front of a Brig McCree and then expect to not die. Good MP, unfortunately the EMP is already out. I think I meant rally, if we're talking about before. Well, what do the Gladiators do now? They have to wait for an EMP and hope this works?
30 seconds remaining.
Time to read my e. Get through them.
Oh, that's a nice shatter. That is a great, that is perfect by Gator. Shatter the Sombra, literally just shatter one. If you can guarantee a kill with one, and then it forces the Transcendence anyway. So now they have the Diva Bomb, they have the Amplification Matrix. Good Pulse Bomb by Kev, so he's trying his darndest. Yo, Pelican's got another big load to put on the cart. Alright, Gladiators get the first point, big plays. Good hold by their Rain though, they got rid of a lot of time. Yeah, the Rhine comps are working really good. Well, the Rhine comp works against the Rhine comp actually works. I understand where the Reinhardt comes from if you're playing against this comp, because they have to dive you, right? If you play hyper defensively, stand with your backline, stand with these guys have to dive you, and then Ryan's gonna be more effective. But I feel like, as I said, if Gladiators just went Pharah, the Reinhardt is all of a sudden just useless. Just straight up useless.
Routing power to forward barrier.
Rhine comps come from Gator and Super's big brains, or their smooth brains. You know, one of the two. It depends on how the meta ends up going. Just a couple of Reinhardt one tricks, you know, just collaborating, just trying to be like, hey man, we can get everyone else to play Reinhardt again. I understand we've just been playing Reinhardt for a long time, but let's just do it again. EMP by Birdring. EMP by Birdring? I was like, maybe he solo EMP'd the Sombra. As in a Zenyatta. And people always ask, what is wrong with the Gladiators? Like, it's not big individual misplays. Like, obviously, this isn't great by Birdring, but it's like, I feel like this map is like a great example of it, right? They have a great defense. They're holding, and then it all goes wrong at the final hours and rank 3 cap. And then Gladiators play the counter comp, get hard counter comped, don't switch, and then just make really dumb ult plays like this and teamwork plays like this. And it becomes this like compounding effect of like every time they're a great team, they have great players and they can take it to the best, but they just like drop the spaghetti so much. Not as bad as Washington, but there's a lot of spaghetti dropped. Guys, were to stick with 2 DPS, who would it be? I think they could probably do everything that they want to do playing Kev's to Birdring. I think they could probably stick with Kev's to Birdring, and they could probably do it. Birdring would have to play a couple of extra things here and there, but yeah. Mira just, I haven't seen like Mira play Tracer or Hit Scan, and I think if you can't play either of those, then you're just like a specialist at that point, right? Alright, Gladiators get in. Sorry, I looked away for a second. What just happened? How did Gladiators just kill everyone? I think a lot of this, what is happening here is set up by the fact that Gator is so out of position. If they're gonna hold close, they should just give up this high ground and come over here. But what they do is they hold close, then they go around them, and then they like split up. The Brig and Ryan are over here. The Baptiste is all of a sudden alone from the Brig. Yeah, and then, yeah, that was a weird play by Atlanta. They're fine because, like, look at where the card is, but yeah. Space has been good this season. I think Space has been pretty solid.
Remaining.
I honestly think there isn't one player on the Gladiators that I'm like, this person is massively underperforming, as I said before. I think it's just like they've all been having bad games from time to time. I think Muse has struggled a little bit, but like that's just teamwork and stuff, right? Like coordination. Like I think there isn't like one thing. I think it's a lot of little things for the Gladiators going wrong. Are we even doing role styles this year? I don't even know. Alright, so we got a team fight. This is so important. Like, I remember watching this and I'm like, I don't know how Gladiators win this fight. I'm like, this is gonna be so hard for them. If Atlanta gets into this fight, they're fine. God, I hate Hanzo. Oh, nice shots. Oh! Where even is Skewed? Wait, Skewed has rally as well?
My barrier.
10 seconds remaining.
That wasn't great. That was really bad. That was like really bad.
Nerf this.
Well,
Time to raise my APM.
the Gladiators are gonna win this as well. That's ridiculous. Wait. How did that happen? So, I guess Gator goes down. Sakai gets bird ring. So it's 5v5, and now it's 4v5 for Atlanta. 4v4. Masa goes down. I guess they just got low. They just didn't have enough sustainability. How often... When did Masa get rallied? If he had insta-popped that rally as soon as he got it, he might have lived and they might have won that fight. But that's a hard call to make. It's easy in hindsight, but... In hindsight, I think it would have been good, but it was still going to be a gamble even if he did. Alright, so Atlantis Gator's doing the classic fuck you, I'm here. Oh, yeah. I don't know. What was Muse looking at when this was happening? Oh, he was out of position. I don't know why he was there. What a guy. Get down, Mr. President. Watching Orisa play an Al is so funny because you're just like shooting at people and like dropping shields and throwing pulls, but you don't really have a big influence on what happens in the game and you can't run away, so you're just like, man, I sure hope we win this team fight soon because otherwise I'm gonna die.
30 seconds remaining.
Alright, last team fight. They got Bongo, they got Transcendence. Iris is a window. They can probably drop a pretty good window here, right? Yeah, there it is.
10 seconds remaining.
They're gonna be careful not to lose mech for this. I think Atlanta thought they were further up than they were. Alright, now comes the bongo from Muse. I think you diva bomb this. Yeah. Oh, Kai gets pulse bombed. Space, gated eyes to space. Does space just get hit by that bomb under the cart?
Target eliminated.
Yep. Game sucks.
Matrix activated.
I always hate that that happens when like they're going up ramps and stuff like that. It exists on a bunch of different maps where those ramps exist.
All systems checked out.
Happens on Jib. Yeah, Jib's a classic one. Oh, good pull, Dragon. Forces Lamp.
Is approaching its destination.
Iris is putting all of his faith in that lamp. That rally's a problem. Yeah, they just have too many ults. Atlanta just had too many ults there. And Atlanta goes up 2-1. Takes Route 66. That was a pretty good play. As I said, I think the Gladiators just kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit there. Yo, what's up, Patrick? How you doing?
For battle.
Why doesn't Dragon kill Lamp? I like that it doesn't kill Lamp. If it killed Lamp, Baptiste would be like so useless against that kind of stuff.
Defend objective A.
Yeah, my favorite cast, I want you to lose the Preds. Well, I take that personally. I fell behind a lot. Well, I didn't. Zoe caught up a lot this weekend. She, like, actually nailed the Preds. I have not done the Houston-Washington game yet, no. Alright, Pelican gets Shoe. So, Reyna gonna play the Farad Torp defense, countering the dive, and Gladiators are gonna play Genji. This is very similar to the comp that we saw from Philly, except without the Farah, right? So they're very dependent on their EMP and their Nanoblade, right? Because they don't... Masa, what are you doing there? Oh, he got hacked. That was a great hack attempt by Birdering. Maybe Pelican was playing too aggressive given that situation, but yeah, I didn't even see that coming either. Well played. Gladiator's got to go though. Nano Winston in, let's go, baby. 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 Okay, that took way too long. Alright, Pelican goes down, and I'm out. Alright, good play by the Gladiators, winning in the neutral by using the hack. Someone help Shu, please. Peace out, Agan. Thanks for hanging out.
Objective lost.
It's that segment of the stream again where Custa goes, why the fuck are you playing Genji? Legitimately, why the fuck is everyone playing Genji? I hate it so much. I can't even wait for the playoffs patch Genji meta, dude. I can't wait for the Roadhog Genji playoff patch. You know, that's gonna be sick. Why didn't he pull the blade? I really wish he pulled the blade. He didn't need the nano to get value out of that blade, I don't think. Like, they got a ton of kills, but... Can we use this blade now? Thank you. Oh, he got Pelican. That was nasty. Honestly, the presence of mind to hold it was good. I think they could have potentially just easily cleaned everything up fast and then 3-cap, but yeah, this way works too. It's funny because that's like opposite to what everyone else does. Usually they like the first opportunity they see to pull the blade, they pull it. But Kevza was very well tempered with that one. He did pull it at the right time. But I think there was a better window earlier. But he didn't have nano, so maybe he wants to guarantee the nano blade. I think he could potentially have dove that Baptiste if he pulled the blade. But maybe he was afraid of lamp. If the lamp goes down and then he's got the torp turret.
Defend objective A.
Am I wrong? Am I the crazy one? Yes? Fuck me, dude. Against this, I think you have to switch off Genji, right? Oh wow, Kevster just got owned. Oh my. I felt my body just be like, is Genji good in the neutral? I started reconsidering everything I thought I knew.
You've rescued me again, Dr. Ziegler.
That was, yeah, sorry, I had to think back to myself. Yeah, if you're gonna kill it, if Pelican can do that consistently, then I'm all for Genji's. All I'm saying is these Pharah defenses do not seem to be doing a lot. Okay. Reaper guy. He went from playing like a very high skill ceiling character to going to just play that Reaper guy who just like shooty shotguns a lot. Gatorpov? I want to kind of see what the Reaper does first. I feel like staying for the Nanoblade would have probably been worth it, right? I feel like he should have stayed for the Nanoblade and then gone Reaper. Okay, good play by the... It was great play until that exact moment. Used his riff. He used his Wraith and then just instantly unwraithed in front of an Ana. I don't like the Zen Brig. I think on 2 CP, on Anubis, the Winston Ana Brig is just... Sombra Tracer is too good. I think the Winston gets a lot of value on this point. I think you need the sustainability of that Nano-wing Winston. I think he gives you a great entry. I don't like the Wrecking Ball here. I think, and the Zen, like especially the Zen. I think it's too easy for the Zen to just die, right? Like on entry, it's almost impossible to keep the Zen alive throughout the entirety of capping the second point. All right, let's get some Gator Wrecking Ball though. Oh, nice, mines. And you know, like, it's proven right there. Like, as soon as Atlanta goes in, they just nano muse into the backline and they win, right? Like, the Zen is just never going to live unless they have Transcendence or Rally. But both of those run out eventually. And after they run out, then you're in trouble. Okay. Look at how far back the Zen Brig are playing. Just terrified. So as soon as the summer comes out, they just rally, and then they EMP. Birdring dies, but you trade for Iris. All they need to do is trade for Iris. If Iris dies, then the Rain can't win, and you can see that from the Gladiators. They recognize it. They're just like, oh, we killed Iris, just disengage. We'll trade the Sombra for the rally and a fight hold. All of the Gladiators do is Nano and Rain gets Rain's backline gets deleted, and that's just the way. This is like classic Anubis. Such a bad point because it's impossible to move around the map and protect your backline, especially with how close spawns the Gladiators are. They can literally just int in and then eventually win. Okay, so they actually managed to get in there. The guys don't really care right now. Here we go, Nano Winston. This was a pretty poorly executed dive thus far. Alright, they get the Transcendence out, time to live, but that cost them a lot. That's a bad bomb by Space again. Space's bombs have been pretty so far this series. Hit that one really good on Blizzard World, but other than that, they're gonna get the kill, but that was expensive. Was that Rally Nano Primal? And they only got Transcendence Diva Bomb out? Wait, that was Hawk's bomb. Sorry. That was a bad bomb by Hawk. I was just like, Space has Diva Bomb? I'm like, sorry, Hawk's Diva Bomb was quite bad. Hawk's bombs have been good, so. Space hater? Dude, I love Space.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Was that necessary? Come on, shoot. What are we doing here? Yeah, like, Irish should switch off Zen right now. He should definitely go Ana. Right now. Like, how does he expect to live for the next minute and a half playing the Zen? Yo, CJ, thank you very much for the 2 months. Very pog. Quite pog. Very big pog. If you think Gator Ball was the player, it should be they should play Winston Ana. I think they need to mirror the Winston Ana back. Winston's so good on this map. Wrecking Ball is very hard to get effectiveness on this point because of just how many pillars there are. It's very hard to move around quickly with smooth pillars. Winston has a lot of protection to move around and jump onto high grounds and dance around. And they need to get off the Zenyatta because of exactly what you just saw just happen. The Zenyatta is just impossible to protect. Saying Zen was a bait for EMP, now they're swapping. Is he though? Any minute now. How is an Iris screaming at them if he can't do anything? It's not really an Iris. It's not like they can do anything more to save Iris. He gets solo EMP'd. This rally's a problem. Oh, this is a good fight for Atlanta. It's a great fight for Atlanta. Oh, Kev's attack as well. He's dead. Are they gonna cap? They should cap off of this. That was a great fight for the Atlanta Reign. They actually managed to counter dive the dive really well. They got the rally out to protect Iris, and then they got the EMP to counter dive. That was really well played. Space gets nanoed. Oh god, they got Hawk's bomb out. Shu kills Hawk as well. That's such a big deal. Oh my god, Skew's alive. If Skew gets to rally, oh my god. 10 seconds though, they're just trying to stall at this point, right? They're not trying to win the fight, they're just trying to stall it out. Muse makes it to the point, Space is back. Space is back is a problem. Bertrand kills Masa. Oh god, Gator's low. Please don't tell me they're gonna die. They also just don't have any healing, right? Like, they have Zen Brig, they just don't have enough healing. Like, they actually might lose this fight when theoretically they should never lose this fight just because they don't have enough healing, yeah. Skew comes back with the rally, it's just over. Oh, Skew, please don't die to a Zen. Yeah, they're gonna lose. That's tragic. That's actually so sad. That was everything that is wrong with 2CP. I feel like I say that every time we watch a Temple of Anubis, but it's always true. Aye. Did somebody say Sadiators? Sadiators, where you at in chat? Hands up. It's about 5, baby. It's time to be disappointed. Hiding? Oh, no. Please end the review. Just let it end. We don't want to see it. Alright. Moth and Mira back in the lineup. They're going to play the Pharah and the Mercy. We're going to see the same thing. Kai is back, is staying in the lineup on this hit scan. So we'll probably see the Pharah McCree. Maybe we'll get to see some more Kai Tracer. Pog. Thinks better goes to Soldier. I like the Soldier. Gladiators gets positioning on the high ground. I'm an Outlaws fan. Okay, so at least you know the pain.
The objective is now active.
Okay, Miri's just moving around. Not a whole lot of anything happening right now. Yo, Ace Trainer, that is some copium right there. That's some straight up copium. Okay, still nothing is really happening. Alright, we got a mirror fat nano. Well, shit. Let's have a look at the sleep by Iris. Oh, that was actually nice. On the other end, Pelican kills the Pharah. Oh, and the Nano's out. That should just be an Atlanta Rain win. Gladiators do get the cap, which is funny. Nice sleep. BAP one trick. No one thinks Iris is a BAP one trick other than some random people. Like, no one actually thinks Iris is a BAP one trick. I assume his Zen and Anna are also quite good. Shu kills Pelican again. Dude, Shu just is a menace on this Ana. Alright, let's see what Pelican does to this barrage.
Thanks for the assist. Move back. Heroes never die.
Alright, nothing's really happening still. No one's really... What do we... This has been a weird round. I feel like no one's died. How many people have died in this round? It doesn't feel like many. It's like a pacifist game. Okay, it is in trouble. Oh, he hit the wall at the last second. Oh! Don't do it. Don't do it. Mira has great tech, great aim and stuff like that with the Pharah, but his decision making is quite poor. Like, if you're gonna conk in, you need an insta barrage, but he shouldn't have conked in.
Get out of my way.
Alright. Dude, Gator is living life on the edge. That's a lot of healing to go towards the supports. That's really nice. Thank you very much for money. Eyes of Atlantis, thank you for the 100 bits. No, PJ's on. This has not been a good round for the Gladiators so far. Alright, Nano Pharah. Alright, Mira gets him. Clean. Mira's scared of the Matrix. If he was scared of the Matrix, he shouldn't have conked in that last round, right? Alright, so 97% to 11. How is Atlanta going to get back into this one?
I will not waste this opportunity. Damage increase. My ultimate is charged. Move back. Let me get you covered. Powered up. Clearing the area.
Sideshow is unironically dominating Dogman in a 1v1. What? What do you mean? In what? What are they 1v1ing in? Overwatch in just like a classic like 1v1 mystery heroes type thing? Workshop one? Oh, the 1v1 arena one, right. And here's why I will never play. It is not beneficial for you to play as a pro player against a streamer or like against like talent or anything like that, because you have everything to lose. If Dogman wins, everyone would be like, of course he won. Dogman loses, everyone's like, Dogman is washed. Sideshow's a god, all that kind of stuff. That's why Brent and Sideshow always challenge people to things, because they have nothing to lose. You won't catch me doing any of those ones. Well, Dogman is washed. Well, yeah, he is retired and that kind of stuff as well, right? So.
Thanks for the assist.
Cuz got dunked on a mystery. What do you mean? I won most of my mystery heroes. Especially when I was playing, I used to dominate you guys. It was a good time, except for Crib. Crib used to dominate me. I think we should unbind Mira's barrage key. I really think we should unbind his barrage key. You gotta wait. Oh, there it is. Gladiators almost pulled that back. I do not like that mirror barrage again. He literally pressed Q to respawn. Alright, so Atlanta Rain's gonna play the slow Orisa style instead of the Pharah Mercy from the Gladiators. Let's see how Mirror does. Because he should be free. Dogman won? Of course he won. In a long-standing thing, Dogman is going to win. But Sideshow's not actually that bad of a bot. Josh actually has pretty good mechanics when he tries. In a 1v1, it's hard to throw.
I'm taking this round.
Sideshow Masters, yeah. Well, Sideshow does get boosted by his viewers, though, so it's kind of hard. I will accept that Josh is Masters if he solo queues to an account to Masters. Until that happens, I don't believe that Josh is a Masters player.
My ultimate is charged. System repaired. Hello.
Okay. Mirror's kind of struggling. Kai's just kind of dominating. Oh, okay. Never mind. You say that. Oh, okay. Well, Mirror at least got one that time. You take those. Oh, Bongo by Gator. I guess they trade for Pulse Bomb, but that is not worth it as an Orisa. Alright, so Gladiators should get the point from this. Unless Pelican kills 9. Hey, Custa, hypothetically spitballing, no taking away from Masa having a significantly better year. Do you think Funny Asher would have been just as good as a main sport pick before getting sent to Philly? Yeah, yeah. Like Funny Asher and Masa are both great main supports. Like they're both like some of the best to come out of Europe. So. Do they seriously not fucking cap? They nano the Pharah, does nothing. They still haven't killed Kevster. They're Pelican, I meant. Pelican is still on the point. Oh my god, Kai. That was such a good high noon to just reset. I was about to say I'd actually like to see Kai relocate to main. Kai's such a smart way in the way he...
Immortality field destroyed.
Aye, that one worked.
Shoot down. Heroes never die. Justice reigns from above.
He's so lucky Hawk didn't see him. He's so lucky that he flew over Hawk. If Hawk saw him come in, Mirror just dies and this would have thrown the game. Like straight up, if Hawk saw him fly above him, like let me go back to highlight how lucky this is for Mirror. So Hawk turns. If Hawk sees Mirror come in here, he has the Matrix, right? If he sees him, or it was called, he would have Matrixed Mirror, nothing would have come out, he wouldn't have killed either of these people, the lamp wouldn't have died, he would have died, and they would have lost this game. That was another very greedy barrage. Why did I arrive for this? Hey Liz, Sadiators. Oh, what the hello? Dominated.
You best head for the hills. I'm on.
How do they lose that fight? How do they not cap this point at all? Dude, the Sadiators, man. They're the most unclutched team in the Overwatch League. Holy cow. Just ignored Kai. Is there a reason not to run Burner and Custa? They seem to not want to play Custa on Farah. Spaghetti is on the floor. Atlanta is very good at map 5. You can't take that away from them. But Gladiators, man, I think as I said before, they are 1 from 5 in map 5s this season, which is incredibly unclutch. And that's why, like, a lot of us are always high on Gladiators. They do make it to map 5. They do very well against every team. They just suck in the final map of every series in which it's really close. So it's hard to watch from time to time. Yeah. What is this? Sparkle down bad?
Me and Rocket see you soon.
Yeah.
Actually?
Come to
Yeah,
your,
really.
Yeah, your facility.
Oh. Can I touch your ass?
Oh!
That's my.
I
You gotta
beat-
pay. You gotta pay to do that. You gotta pay to do that.
I beat up.
Money?
Yo, I come.
Fucking hell, dude. You fucking hell. You forgot to end the VOD? Oh, well, I guess that's part of the VOD. I guess I'll just leave you guys with that. Tier 3 subs only. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Once again, Sadiators, unclutch. Atlanta Reign look really good. I think they have a great grasp on the meta. Their biggest weakness is always going to be their Wrecking Ball, Tracer, Sombra comps just don't look very good. But when they're able to play the Orisa, when they can play the Pharah, I think they look quite good. But when they play the Tracer Sombra, it's nowhere near as clean. So we'll see how that does. We'll see how long that lasts for them. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time.